When you hear the name Marilyn Monroe, okay, what's the very first image that pops into your head? Is it, the white dress?
Yeah.
The breathy voice, that whole dizzy blonde thing?
Yeah, that's usually it. Or maybe the tragedy, right? The victim narrative.
Exactly. The public spectacle, the life spiraling. But what if that story, the one we all sort of think we know, isn't really the whole story? What if that bombshell exterior was actually, well, more like a battlefield? And Marilyn herself was fighting this quiet war.
A strategic war, even. Not just for fame, which she obviously had, but for something else.
Creative control?
Creative control, autonomy, complexity, the right, really, to be taken seriously. And that was in a system, Hollywood back then, that was pretty much designed to flatten women into these really simple caricatures.
So that's what we're digging into today. As we look through all this material, what really jumps out is that battle you mentioned.
It's profound, yeah.
Okay, so our mission for you listening is to kind of journey beyond the icon, beyond the star image. Yeah. We want to uncover her artistic survival.
And how she pushed back, right? The really unexpected ways she resisted Hollywood's expectations.
Yeah. So hopefully, by the end of this deep dive, you'll see Marilyn Monroe as, well, more than just a star. Maybe as a trailblazer who actually redefined power for women in that industry.
A tall order, but her story supports it.
All right, let's unpack this. So early 1950s, Marilyn Monroe is, instantly profitable, right? Money's rolling in.
Oh, absolutely. Huge audiences, big box office, and it's a big but. She's just categorically underestimated.
How so? What did the studios actually see her as?
They hired her to shimmer. That was the word. Not really to act.
Wow, just shimmer.
Yeah. They typecast her immediately. Seductive, sure, but also silly, submissive. It was this perfect, profitable box.
A cage, really.
Cage is a good way to put it. A very lucrative cage, but still a cage.
But here's where it gets interesting, because behind that, you're saying there was this whole other hidden side.
Completely hidden, yeah. This wasn't just someone who stumbled into fame. She was driven. She was an aspiring artist at heart. Seriously, she was reading Chekhov.
Chekhov, really?
Yeah, and actually studying, under Lee Strasberg, at the Actors Studio in New York, method acting.
That doesn't fit the dumb blonde picture at all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
She was apparently begging for complex roles, fighting constantly to shed what you could call this celluloid corset they'd put her in. She wanted depth. She wanted to actually act.
So she's fighting this battle, trying to get these deeper roles, even while she's this massive star.
Right from the start, yeah.
But it sounds like Hollywood just wasn't buying it. They weren't listening.
Nope. They had their moneymaker, their caricature, her intellectual side, her artistic ambition, not interested.
Okay, so how does she react to that kind of brick wall?
Well, what she did next was pretty radical, especially for that era. In 1954, she makes this huge decision. Yeah. She just walked out on her contract with 20th Century Fox, packed up and fled to New York.
Walked out on Fox. Wow, the tabloids must have gone crazy.
Oh, they did. Screaming headlines. Breakdown, Marilyn meltdown. You know the drill.
But you're saying it wasn't a breakdown.
No, the reality was it seems much more like a calculated breakthrough, a power move. She wasn't just running away, she was making a stand, very deliberately.
That takes serious guts. So this isn't just an emotional outburst, it's strategic.
Exactly. A bombshell going rogue, you could say. And then she does something even more audacious.
Yeah.
She starts her own production company, Marilyn Monroe Productions, MMP.
Her own company.
Yeah.
In the mid-50s.
With the photographer Milton Green, yeah. Think about that. One of the very first actresses in history to do that.
That is. That's huge. It's more than just starting a business. It's a statement, isn't it?
Oh, it's a massive statement. Loud, defiant. And, probably quite dangerous to the studio system status quo.
I bet. It sounds incredibly empowering, but also like a massive gamble. Could it have totally backfired, left her out in the cold?
Absolutely. Huge risk. But, her star power was undeniable. And this bold move, it actually worked.
It did. Yeah.
She eventually went back to Fox, but it was completely on her terms.
Really? What did she get?
She demanded and got script approval, big salary increases, and, crucially, the right to be taken seriously as an actress, or at least a better shot at it.
Wow. That's a victory.
It was a major victory. And what's fascinating, reading some accounts from back then, even when she was playing that dumb blonde part everyone expected, she often knew exactly what she was doing. There's this great quote from a producer, something like, she knew she wasn't dumb, but she knew the town thought she was, and she played that. Until she didn't.
Huh. Playing the game until she could change the rules.
Pretty much.
So, okay, she achieves this incredible win. Unprecedented control for an actress at that time. But did it actually change how Hollywood treated her day-to-day?
On set?
Well,
I'm thinking about The Prince and the Showgirl. That was her company, MMP, co-producing, right? Starring opposite Sir Laurence Olivier. Exactly. And that's where you see this ironic struggle just play out so clearly, even with her new power as a producer on that film.
it wasn't smooth sailing.
Far from it. Despite trying really hard to give this layered, nuanced performance, she was apparently mocked relentlessly in the British press.
Mocked? Why?
Seen as this kind of unruly American interloper. Olivier himself was famously difficult with her. It was like the world just insisted on seeing the caricature, on flattening her back into that simple punchline.
Even when she was actively fighting for artistic respect and literally co-funding the movie.
Exactly. The external narrative, that public perception, was just incredibly hard to shake no matter what deals she made.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah.
Which brings us maybe to later.
Yeah.
By the time we get to 1960, the set of The Misfits.
Yeah. Sadly, her last completed film.
And the material we have looked at suggests those cracks, the ones she'd maybe been papering over that weren't hidden anymore.
Not at all. It describes a really fragile state. There was profound grief. Her drug use was escalating.
And her marriage to Arthur Miller, who wrote the script, was falling apart very publicly.
Right there on set, essentially. It was brutal.
And this is where the stories about her being difficult on set really ramp up, isn't it? The lateness, the absences.
Yes, and it's so important here to look beyond that easy label, unprofessional.
Okay. What was really going on?
Well, the evidence suggests it was more the manifestation of just deep, untreated trauma, relentless pressure. Remember, she'd suffered years of miscarriages by this point, too.
Right, the physical toll as well.
And a serious dependence on prescription drugs, which was tragically common and often enabled back then. She wasn't just being difficult. By many accounts, she was drowning, literally drowning under the weight of it all.
That paints a very different picture than just diva behavior.
A much more tragic and, frankly, human picture.
And The Misfits, it was marketed as this big comeback, wasn't it? A triumphant return.
Yeah, that was the spin. But the reality, it felt much more like a farewell.
And the cameras just kept rolling, capturing all that raw fragility for everyone to see.
And likely misinterpret.
Yeah. You know, Hollywood always had this reputation for, well, consuming its young stars, its ingenues.
Devouring them sometimes.
But with Marilyn, it feels like that consumption was total, just relentless.
It really does. I mean, think about it. Her weight fluctuations debated like stock prices.
Right. Every pound gained or lost, a headline.
Her rumored affairs dissected with this almost forensic cruelty. Her intelligence openly mocked. Her pain, it was monetized.
Monetized. How so?
Well, the sheer spectacle of it sold magazines, drew audiences, photos of her sleeping, crying, leaving psychiatric clinics. There were no boundaries. Her entire life became this public drama.
And all those labels they stuck on her childlike, crazy, fragile, difficult.
They were convenient, weren't they? Convenient ways to just erase her agency, her fight, her intelligence.
And it feels like that narrative persists somehow, even now, you know, in the streaming era, films like Blonde on Netflix.
Yeah, they often still lean heavily into that victim first, body second, intellect. Almost never. It's a powerful, persistent narrative.
It really is.
But, and this is the crucial point we hope you take away, Monroe was never just a victim. That's too simple.
Right. She was also
a woman who actively fought the studio system, who founded her own company when that was almost unthinkable, who demanded respect, and who, even if just for a while, actually changed the rules of the game for women in Hollywood.
That's the part that gets lost in the tragedy narrative so often.
Completely.
Yeah. Okay, she lost battles. She definitely missed her mark sometimes. She struggled. She self-destructed in many ways, absolutely.
It's undeniable.
But she also smashed some serious barriers. And she whispered these truths about the industry, about fame, about being a woman in that world that maybe the industry still hasn't fully dealt with.
I think that's right. Her struggle to be heard, to be truly seen for who she was beyond the surface, it wasn't just her fight.
It feels like every woman's battle in some ways.
Yeah.
Especially in industries built on image.
On beauty and silence sometimes.
Yeah. So, Marilyn Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
She left behind more than just tragedy, more than just the iconic image.
Definitely. She left a warning, maybe. And maybe a blueprint, too.
A blueprint? How so?
Well, a blueprint for fighting back, for demanding your worth, even when the odds are stacked against you. Elements of it, anyway.
That makes you think. What does it mean, even now, today, to truly see someone, to acknowledge their whole self, the intellect, the struggles, the agency?
Especially when the world, or maybe just social media or the press, insists on reducing them to some easy label or a simple punchline.
Yeah. It's a question, isn't it? One that really echoes from her story right into our own lives. How do we see past the surface?